is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
These are good problems to have, right?
Very.
So much success that you have more than one place to be.
5-3, touchdown, Oregon.
Off a dribble, launches, and hits the three. Oregon leads.
What a great opportunity it is to be able to play at the University of Oregon.
I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of something like this.
She wants another three. Oh, three in a row.
Swing and a miss. Oregon is headed to the Super Regional.
Fans being out there making this a great impact.
We are so privileged and so fortunate. We get to see all these young people. We get to see this incredible growth, which is what college is all about.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
Welcome to Duck Insider on a Monday. Duck Insider brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I'm Ryan Milano here in the Country Financial Studio as we are into crossover season. Yes! It's here. Basketball tips off tonight at Matthew Knight Arena. Oregon on the women's side going to be playing against California Baptist at 4 o'clock on Big Ten Plus. On the men's side against UC Riverside at 7:30 on Big Ten Plus. I'm going right over to the arena after this. I hope to see all of you there to watch these new look Duck teams in person for the first time in the 2024-2025 season. It's going to be a heck of a lot of fun at Matthew Knight Arena. Also, new court. If you haven't seen the new court yet, you can see it at Matthew Knight Arena tonight. We've seen it in volleyball. It's different in basketball. If you weren't there for the scrimmage on Friday where the women played Warner Pacific, pretty good result for the women in that one, by the way, as well. You're going to want to see the court. It's a new look. It looks great. It looks pristine. I'm really excited for it. We're also going to be talking about football and how Oregon continues to stay undefeated after the win on the road against Michigan, where the Ducks went into the Big House and got a 38-17 victory on the road against the defending national champions in a big-time matchup. And also, over the weekend, Oregon volleyball getting the 3-0 sweep over UCLA ahead of a huge matchup coming up on Thursday at Matthew Knight Arena for Coach Ulmer's squad. A whole lot to touch on today's show, but we're going to start with the team that, well, it's the start of the season for basketball. There's no losses on their record. There's also no losses on Oregon football's record still to this point in the season, now more than 2 months into the year. Ducks got the 38-17 win over Michigan. The game recap and the call is heard by Jerry and Jorgie up in the booth. How did the Ducks get it done on the road against the defending national champions? Well, let's just listen to the sweet sounds of Jerry Allen's voice to find out.
It's a new generation in the Big Ten in the Big House, and Oregon will try to take ownership of the Big House today against the Michigan Wolverines. Motion from the right to the left, pitch going right, and pressured and dumped for a big loss back at the 25-yard line. Harmon just almost came through unblocked on 3rd and goal from the 3. Gabriel, snap, wants to throw it, goes fade right out to the left. Was it caught? It was! Touchdown! Evan Stewart. Gabriel waiting for the snap, has it, back to throw. Little roll, half roll, stops, looks back, nobody open. Now will turn and he can run. Now he's going to throw it. Got it to Ferguson. Inside the 5. Are they going to knee him down?
Just short.
Oh, just short of inside the 1-yard line. Oregon will go quickly. Dillon turns, hand it off. Inside, touchdown Oregon. Very quick offensive play for Oregon. Back to throw. Gabriel going down the right side. He's got Holden. He's got it at the 5. And down they'll mark him at about the 6-yard line. Holden got behind, and there was no doubt if Gabriel could lay it out there, he was going to get a big first down and maybe more. And a handoff. Yeah, it's stuffed in the backfield, a loss. Great job by Justin Jacobs, like coming on a blitz. But it was a running play, and so he was in the backfield and made the tackle.
Yeah.
In motion, goes all the way to the right. Back to throw, Gabriel. Steps up, gonna run. Got a block. 10, 5, Dylan Gabriel. Touchdown, Oregon.
Oregon
design quarterback draw, and it was blocked just the way you ask it to be blocked. Give me room to run, and Dylan Gabriel can run. Orji with a snap. End around. Going to be a throw. Tried to throw it back. Nobody opened it. A throw way to the outside of the end zone, incomplete. Trick play. And Oregon was not fooled. And Gabriel, James beside him, back to throw. Looks, pressure comes, going to run, throw it downfield. He's got Holden. He's got it. First down is stumbling down the sideline inside the 25-yard line. Trayshawn Holden. James going to get the ball again up the middle and will spin into the end zone. Jordan James. And Oregon a kick away from making it a 38-17 ball game. Final second ticks off, and in the big house, Oregon get the victory over the Michigan Wolverines with a score of 38-17.
That is a good Michigan team that Oregon went up against, and it's never easy to go into the defending national champion's house, especially a big one like Michigan has, and come away with the victory, especially a victory like Oregon did, 38-17, 21 points, the margin of victory for the Ducks. Taking care of business. That's all that really Oregon got accomplished over the weekend. Take care of business, get another win in the record books, stay undefeated for Oregon, 9-0 on the season for these Oregon Ducks. Coach Lanning, he talked with the media after the game on the road at Michigan. What were his thoughts post-game? Well, let's hear from Oregon's head coach, Dan Lanning.
All right. Proud of the way our guys performed today. I thought they came in, handled some adversity really early, and just really impressed with their composure throughout the game and the focus on the next play, the next opportunity. We talked about this is a physical team. We knew we were going to get their best. We talked about eliminating the crowd, in this game, that, the Warriors are the ones that fight the battle, right? And they're the ones that control the atmosphere, not the spectators. So I thought our guys did a lead job of that. I think everybody in the nation needs to recognize what kind of quarterback we got. He's a really, really special player. He extended some plays, and I'm really proud of his performance tonight and proud of our entire team.
Yeah, what can you say about Jordan's performance, the game that he did against that front seven?
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously a great player, and he's continued to be a really good player for us all year. He'd be the first one to tell you that offensive line did a great job tonight to give him those opportunities and take advantage of it.
Dan, what do you know about Tez?
I'm still figuring it out. I really don't have the details right now. I mean, he wasn't available to come back in the game, but I don't know any more than that.
Can I just ask what he means to this team beyond what he does on the field?
Yeah. I mean, this guy's a winner in every every piece of that word, what it means to be a winner. Tez is that for us. And we always talk about opportunities, next man up. And I'm glad that the rest of the guys were able to step up and continue to go out there and have success in this game, right, knowing that Tez was down. But I'm proud of what he's been able to do for this team all year. He's a selfless player that plays with crazy passion and energy. And we certainly would have loved to have him out there tonight, but proud of those guys stepping up around him.
Yeah, not just to out-rush them, but to only allow 3 TFLs, and from their best, only one from either Graham or Grant. What do you think of the ability to contain those first-round picks that they have up front?
Yeah, they're obviously really, really talented players, and we were conscientious of that. I thought the offensive staff did an unbelievable job of having a game plan, for those guys, taking advantage about getting the ball out in the perimeter early, making them work sideline to sideline, always being cognizant of where they were at and trying to, take them really out of the game. And then at the end of the day, we knew when your best was needed and a hard yard was needed, right, we're going to run it at them. And our guys did a good job of that.
You touched on Dylan earlier, but just what do you think of his performances, his ability to handle pressure from the interior a lot tonight?
Man, this guy's cool hand Luke, right? He's steady. Even that last big pass there to Trayshawn, that wasn't the initial, play. So that's a great, we talk about scramble drill. Those guys activated scramble drill, turned into an explosive play. It's a really impressive play by Dylan, super impressive play by Trayshawn, and taking advantage of opportunities, recreating those situations in practice and executing them on the field is really special.
In the second half, Coach, you saw some unique formations a couple times show up. Was that kind of attributed to trying to find a rhythm without Tez or given the score?
No, those were all part of our initial plan. We talked about trying to enhance our ability to be better in the third quarter and having some pieces that could help us out there. But ultimately, it was stuff that we didn't get to in the first half that we felt like was available for us in the second half.
Across 6 Big Ten games, you guys only scored 6 points in the third quarter, like you were just talking about.
Yeah.
Is there a trend there that you're seeing internally, and over the first 5,
that you've kind of linked that you can see kind of carrying over into today?
Yeah, there's a trend, right? And that's something that we're certainly aware of and attacking. Again, they came out and got a 3 and out there, I think, on the very first drive out of the third quarter. So it's something we want to look at and improve on.
Dan, how does this environment compare to others you've seen? I guess what does this performance say about your team's ability to win in this league?
Yeah, it gets loud on third down. This is a special place, right? There's obviously a lot of history here. But again, like what we said all week, the Warriors control the atmosphere, right? Not the spectators. And I thought our guys did a great job of handling that.
The touchdown run, was that designed, or is that just saw something and went?
You talking about the end?
No, the 23-yard touchdown run, Dylan.
Yeah, that's a design play. It was a great call by Coach Stein.
I'm sure your team had proven a lot before today, but to do this against the defending national champs team, you had talked up before the game. What did that teach you about this team?
Yeah, just that we're continuing to get better, right? And the next opponent's the next opponent. That's who we got to play next. So it's really about us. But we knew this is a good team. There's a lot of talent on that team. It's a well-coached team. So it was going to take our best, but our best is good enough.
It's a career night for Trayshawn as well, and given what the last couple of weeks were like for him, Dan, the test of metal for him to come in and fill in for Tez and have the kind of night that he has with 3 big catches in particular.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm most impressed with Trayshawn is his composure, his ability to take advantage of the opportunities that came his way. He was a big-time player for us tonight. I'm really proud of him and his performance.
Dan, I know you're very in the moment in weeks like this, but you take a step back for this first year through the Big Ten. You guys have beaten Ohio State at home, come into the Big House, and beat Michigan. What are you appreciating about this journey, kind of this first time through the Big Ten schedule?
I said this on the field after the game. I don't know how many people get to go to work and genuinely get to say that they love everybody that they work with. I think that's what makes this so special, is that I get to go into a locker room and I look around the room and I see guys that I love. I get to go to work and work with coaches that I absolutely love. And I got a feeling that guys that go to their everyday job don't get to experience that. And that's what makes this really special. You talk about goals and aspirations. My goal is for the people around me be able to accomplish their goals and aspirations. And when you start to have seasons like this, you start to see people get to accomplish those goals. So I'm really proud, again, of all the hard work that goes unseen, right? So then on Saturdays, it can show up and be seen.
What was the situation with Marcus? Any update there?
Yeah, he told me in the locker room he's going to be fine. Obviously, we want to make sure we get him assessed and take a look at that, but I don't know that we have an update right now.
Coach, earlier in the season, there was a lot of talk about penalties or sacks from the O-line. What does that mean that that's no longer something that anyone's talking about, no longer so much of an issue?
Yeah, it's called work, right? You got to go, take your medicine, figure out what you're not doing well, and find ways to improve it. And I think our coaching staff and our players have really taken an onus in that and taken ownership of what it means to improve, and they've done a good job of that.
Michigan's 4th down play, where they did the reverse to number 0, tried to pass. I mean, you guys looked like you had everything covered there. Can you speak to why that was the case? Yeah,
just ultimately, they've had a lot of success this season on trick plays, whether it's flea flickers, reverse passes. They hit one earlier in the game. So we were aware that there's going to be people leaking out, and we spent a lot of time on that, an inordinate amount of time. I think it's an unbelievable play by Mateo that's going to go a little bit unsung. Right, but to be able to own his responsibility, we talk about farming your land, right? Do your job. Don't worry about farming somebody else's land. He did a great job of farming his land on that play and owning his responsibility there.
Yeah, these performances from Dylan are starting to get almost routine, with somewhere between 290 and 300 yards, the level of completions, completion percentage, etc. Does anything even surprise you? Does anything, I want to say, blow you away? But when does this become ordinary? When is this almost like, that's standard for 290?
I think everybody in here needs to realize that's not ordinary, right? We are really blessed to have a special quarterback that is out there operating week in and week out, doing a really good job. And I'll say this, he's earned the trust and the admiration of all of his teammates and the coaches around him. But this guy prepares extremely hard. He is the calmest dude you've ever been around on the field, which is impressive, but I'm really proud of him and what he's been able to do for this team.
Michigan was hesitant to bring in a transfer quarterback because of the importance of that position in the locker room and stuff. Can you speak about why you were okay doing that and how Dylan has navigated that responsibility?
Yeah, I think the key in college football right now is you have to put yourself in position to be the best team that you can possibly be. And for us, it's about development. Regardless if you came in as a freshman or if you're coming in as a transfer, can we develop those players and get them to play their best? Dylan's a great example of a guy that's come in and improved and gotten better week in and week out and continue to develop and, again, like I said, earn the trust of his teammates.
Last couple of weeks, Dan, really almost 3+ weeks, defensively in particular in the first half, to really be suffocating teams and putting the game out of reach. What has Taj done schematically as a play caller over the past year in particular? Yes, there's better players, maybe top to bottom, but he has to put him in position to succeed, and y'all are succeeding.
Yeah, he's done a great job. I mean, you talk about a guy that's picked his spots, right, of, controlled aggression, like when to take advantage of opportunities. You talk about players executing the scheme to a really high level. I mean, we're a good defense when we got 11 guys playing the same call, and that's shown up consistently this year. But Coach LaPoy's done an unbelievable job, as well as that entire defensive staff. Like, we got a bunch of great coaches, on that side of the ball and really across the board on our team, and it's fun seeing that come to fruition.
Dan, just to circle back to the third quarter issue, the trend, is it at a point where you would say that's a problem? Is it on the verge of becoming a problem? Like, how do you characterize that?
No, we won 38-17, so I'd say it's not a problem. Right? It's something we want to address, though.
38-17, Oregon wins over Michigan, and the Warriors controlled the atmosphere, not the spectators. Well, this Warrior in this atmosphere is saying we got to take a timeout before we get to Dillon Gabriel. The quarterback had a pretty strong day at the office. We're getting to hear from the QB when we return on Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back inside the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano here with you. We just heard from the coach, Dan Lanning. Now it's about the quarterback, Dillon Gabriel. Coach said that people got to start recognizing how special of a quarterback Oregon has. And, well, this is a special quarterback. Dillon Gabriel, he went 22 for 34 for 294 through the air and a touchdown passing. Also ran 3 times for 23 yards and a touchdown on the ground. Dillon Gabriel. Don't get lost in the fact that just because Oregon had a Heisman candidate quarterback last year, that this quarterback isn't incredibly special in his own right. And in some of these awards at the end of the season that can be statistic compilers, well, sometimes you just got to operate an offense, and when you're an Oregon team that scored 5 touchdowns, 4 of them on the ground, sometimes it's hard for the quarterback to be the one to get in the end zone all the time, but Dillon Gabriel sure runs one efficient offense for this Oregon Ducks team. We're getting to hear from the QB postgame and how he navigated some circumstances at Michigan to have a strong performance. Let's hear from Dillon Gabriel.
Dillon, the long sleeve top is that custom? Did you design that, or?
It is custom. I've had some help designing, but saw the vision, I'd say. I wasn't the designer, but I was the vision guy. So
Yeah, Dylan, can you talk about Trayshawn's performance tonight and how he stepped up in the absence of Tez to have some pretty big performance?
Yeah, I'm just proud of Trayshawn as a person, honestly. Just the way he's responded, you see a kid that has learned a bunch, and has grown a bunch, but never stopped working, and the way he's practiced, even these past 2-3 weeks, it's different, and I respect him for it. So I'm not surprised. This is how he's been practicing, and I'm just proud of him because, you see 3 weeks ago, but you see now growth in a guy who's wanting to be better. So I'm extremely proud of him. I told him that, but got a bunch of belief in him as a player and a person.
Walk us through about the touchdown pass to Evan and putting it in the spot where only he can get it at there, and then on the touchdown run, just what you're seeing on that read.
Yeah, I just like the matchup on the touchdown pass, and something we've done before. So felt really confident about that. He's really good at getting in good position and adjusting, and then just the touchdown run, something that we've been setting up. Even the play before, a similar look, but just an advantage, check that we wanted to get to. So guys up front handled the games really well, and we talked about that, QB draw, expecting games, right? Handled it really well, and then Pancho moving up, getting that block to let me go crease it. So proud of those guys as well.
Dylan, you talked about Trayshawn and where he is now. I'm wondering, what was it like 3 weeks ago after the incident against Ohio State? Did you guys need to have kind of some tough conversations with him as a team, and obviously seeing where he is tonight? Yeah. Can you kind of talk about where it started?
Yeah, he knew he messed up, and he's not proud of it, right? And nor is anyone in life proud of certain things in their life that has happened. But his was magnified on camera, in TV, or what people say, caught in 4K, right? But I just think a guy who owns it and shows it consistently, it's the weight room, the practice field, the meeting room, as a person. Like, you see a person who's disappointed and, struggled a little bit early on, but then you just see him continue to chop away. And I think that goes to show just a guy who wants it, and I respect that. I don't know, you just look at a guy that week, and then you look at him now, like he's worked his butt off to get to this point. Like, I love it for him. I do. I appreciate him, and I'm proud of him. I told him that, but more importantly, like, I want people to know that there's before and after. There's growth, and if you've seen our team as a team, we've continued to grow each week, but he's like a direct, example of that. So I don't want to let that go by.
Yeah, just the environment. I think this was the largest crowd Oregon has ever played in front of. Can you just summarize what it was like to come in here and play this game? It
was fun. It's not hard getting ready for these kind of games. You knew what you were coming into. Michigan's a historic program, have been really good for a long time, and the record really doesn't go to show how good that team is. They've played a bunch of close ones and could live on the other side of it, and you never know. But defensively, they're really good up front, and have been a dominant defense. So we knew we had our hands full, but we were excited for the opportunity. We knew, what we were walking into. Maybe not exactly what we were walking into, but the opportunity at hand. So
there was a lot moving around tonight, different formations, different personnel in and out there, and yet the offense was productive, didn't turn the ball over. What's your confidence like, even when situations are changing with, who's available and what formations you're working in?
I think it goes to show when we go back to January, and I don't want to be a broken record, but we do a bunch of these mixed teams. That's O-line, like tight ends, receiver, any combo you could put on paper, I've probably gone with, and that's in walkthroughs, that's in player-led practices, that's in spring ball, all the way up until fall camp, maybe in the beginning half. But I think that's just created comfortability with everyone and whoever's in there, the trust and belief that when you're in there, there's a standard to uphold and how to play. And, you go to show, you look at all these guys, T-Fer didn't necessarily play like last week, and Trey shows up. It's just a bunch of guys touch the football, and we trust them, and that's from January. So.
I think it's been almost a decade since a team beat Michigan and Ohio State in the same season. To do that your first year in the Big Ten, what does that mean?
I don't know. I feel like history doesn't necessarily kind of go with what we want to do. I think we've been just so focused on right now, and we'll look back down the road and maybe you can ask me that question, hopefully in January. But I feel like, just being present, being right in the moment, I think that's allowed us to seize every moment. Very easy to say, but hard to do, and these seasons get long, but I just, appreciate how we've been able to stay fresh, stay present, keep getting better every week. And that focus has allowed us to do, that as well. So I don't want to shy away from that question, but, I think us focusing on the now has allowed us to do what, we've done.
Obviously, Tez goes down early in this game. What can you just say about the connection that you built with him and what it was like for you to obviously see that?
Yeah, in the drive, I didn't necessarily know what was going on, but once I got to the sideline, I kind of got wind of it. So I hate it for him because I love the competitor he is. He's a guy that loves the game and is vocal about his passion and he loves the game of football. So it's hard and you hate it for him, just how I hated it for Ferg and hearing that. But Ferg came back and he played his butt off and contributed. So I know Tez will do the same, and I love him just because of the person he is.
That's Dylan Gabriel getting it done on the offensive end, a 38-17 win over Michigan. And you're right, he just talked about at the end, Tez Johnson a little bit banged up. Don't know a full status on him yet. Coach Lanning will speak with the media tonight in his weekly press conference ahead of the game coming up this weekend against Maryland. By the way, tickets still available against Maryland and the Terrapins for 4 o'clock on Saturday. Go to goducks.com/FBTix if you want to be inside of Autzen Stadium for this matchup between Oregon and Maryland. Also, we do have a kick time coming down from the league office this morning for 2 weeks from now, the game where Oregon will go on the road to Wisconsin. The Ducks will play at 4:30 p.m., which means pregame show on the Oregon Sports Network will start at 2:30 p.m. That game will be televised nationally on NBC at Camp Randall, where Oregon goes on the road to play Wisconsin. So that's your schedule for Oregon football coming up through the next few weeks. Schedule for the rest of this show, well, we got to step aside and hear from the defense. Bryce Betcher, Kobe Savage, they did a strong job limiting the Michigan offense. Talking to them when we return on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Put your phone on D&D, that means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D, that means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Hey, welcome back inside the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano here with you. We heard from Coach Lanning earlier in the show, heard from Dylan Gabriel. We are going to hear from some basketball players later before tip-off tonight, where both men's and women's kick off their season at Matthew Knight Arena. But right now we're talking about defense, and Oregon's defense against Michigan allowed 17 points, still a top 10 scoring defense in the country. Leading tackler on the team, Bryce Betcher. By the way, if you didn't see the feature that was put out by Big Ten Network this week, a lot of things that us here inside of the building at the athletic department already know about Bryce Betcher, getting to talk with him and see him work every single day. But I think really, really insightful stuff. If you haven't already checked it out, about the man that Bryce Betcher is, the discipline that he has, the work ethic he puts in, really strong stuff. Hearing from him, also from Kobe Savage, both of them tied to lead the Oregon Ducks in tackles against Michigan over the weekend, both with 7. 3 solo for Kobe, 4 for Betcher, and a tackle and a half for loss for Bryce, as well as Oregon was able to shut down the Michigan offense for the most part. Let's hear from 2 keys to this Oregon defense, Kobe Savage, Bryce Betcher.
Kobe, I mean, this Michigan team, they're known for breaking up long plays and just taking the very long plays to the house. How do you guys think that you did a good job of handling that?
Yeah, I feel like beginning in the first half, we did a really good job establishing our run defense, and I feel like we gave a couple of explosives in the pass game, just bad eyes, a lot of trickery that they had with the flea flicker and stuff like that. But overall, I feel like we're growing each week as a defense when it comes to stuff like that and limiting explosives.
Either one of you guys, just talk about that 4th down play at the end zone at the end of the game, and it's kind of what you guys saw on that.
Yeah, just a little trickery right there. Mateo did his job on the edge and guarded that pass out, which was great. It was just a bunch of guys doing their job and resulted in a good win for the Ducks.
These guys lean so heavily into their run game for obvious reasons, and you hold them way below their season average, even with a mobile quarterback out there doing what he's doing. What was it about the plan that was able to be executed to that level to hold them to just over 100 yards?
Yeah, just technique and mentality. When a team runs the ball, you just got to come downhill, do your job, and then obviously a lot of mentality. It's just who's going to win their gap, who's going to win their assignment. I think we did that tonight, did it well, and obviously when you have a great secondary and they are able to pass the ball as well, that definitely helps. So.
Kobe, a couple of the tackles for loss were from secondary guys jumping on a screen pass or something. Just how do you feel like you guys overall as a secondary unit did on establishing your run defense and then jumping plays like that on screens?
Yeah, I feel like coming off the Purdue week, Coach Lanning, Coach Tosh, and Coach Ham did a really good job of enforcing us tackling as a secondary. We had a poor performance in tackling that game, and then Illinois, we ended up stepping up a lot, and then coming into this game, that was a big thing for us. We knew the DBs were going to have to show up, do the perimeter runs or any leakage off the back end. So, yeah, I feel like guys did a great job showing up, doing a good job of wrapping and rolling, and just attacking the run.
Kobe, again, this is another really good performance from Nico Reed. When they did throw to him, it wasn't a lot of success. He had the tackle for loss on a screen play. Just where have you seen him just step up over the course of the season and improve in his play?
Yeah, I mean, even in game 1, like Nico's pick, he stepped up a lot, being a veteran guy, moving from star to playing corner, just being a versatile guy like that, and understands the defense a lot. And like you said, just production has just grown a lot for him. And obviously being one of the highest graded corners on PFF, I mean, it's showing out there every day. It shows up at practice. And, yeah, Nico's just growing these games.
Yeah, Bryce, you guys have beaten Ohio State. Now you come to Michigan. You win at Michigan. What have these moments been like for you this season?
Yeah, they've been huge, especially joining a new conference, establishing a little bit of dominance. We're new on the block, but we're here to stay. That's our mindset, and, it's been great. A lot of great team wins, and, just only building from here.
Bryce, these last couple of weeks in particular, the offense can put up a bunch of points in the first half, but you guys are doing your job and holding really suffocating the other side. What is it, either schematically, or what is Coach Boyd doing to put you guys in the position to be succeeding at the level you are, far better even at times than last season? Yeah, okay, there's some players changed, but a lot of them did. So what's going on to where you guys were able to do what you're doing the last 3-4 weeks?
Yeah, he obviously puts us in good positions to succeed, calling the right call in the right position. Changing stuff up when you need to change stuff up, but ultimately just sticking to what we do best. And obviously, the players on the field, it's a mindset we got in the locker room, and we just build off each week. And we got a bunch of dogs. We got 11 dogs on offense, 11 dogs on defense. Even when the guys come in the game that may not be starting, it's the standard doesn't change. I think everyone's bought into that, and we got a really good culture growing right now.
When Michigan brings in their second quarterback, number 10, it seems like it's always going to be a run. Is it that simple to you guys defensively, or no?
I'd say this week it was about that simple. It's kind of what we saw on film, so that's what we game plan for, and that's what happened. Other than minus like 1 or 2 trick plays, held true.
Kobe is the guy who likes to give Dylan an earful in practice, at least go back and forth. You played him before.
Yeah.
All right. If he's playing like this and he's playing like the best quarterback in the country, what makes him possibly the best quarterback in the country?
I mean, just his overall confidence and like we're on the sideline, the offense is out there. Like it's no worry. Like we're never gonna ever blame the offense or for anything like that. We know they're gonna move the ball downfield. He'll get them going some type of way, pocket bust, anything like that. Like he just continues to prove that week in and week out. Like seeing Tez go down, he can do a lot more with less, like he did at Oklahoma. So I've always had that faith in him, especially whenever he first got in here, and he's just proven that week after week that he's the best quarterback in the country.
You guys have a front row seat front row view every week of what Tez has done. How hard is it to see him in street clothes for the majority of that game, and what does he mean to this team? Kobe. Sorry, I didn't specify. Sorry.
I mean, Tez is an amazing leader. From the day I got in here, he established like his role on this team as a leader and as a brother. He does a great job of carrying and calling guys up, not calling them out. I mean, him, Trayshawn, all those guys, like Tez is a very important piece of this Oregon football team. We love him, and we just hope that he gets back healthy. And like I said, yeah, he's an amazing and important piece to this team.
Bryce, clearly Jordan wasn't at quite 100% today, but for him to come back and be working his way towards that, what will his return as he gets closer and closer to 100% mean to this defense when you put him on one side with Mateo on the other, and what you guys are doing when you have them all together playing at this level? What could that look like in weeks ahead?
Yeah, he's a force. Anytime you can get as many good guys in the field, and, power unit and power numbers, it's huge. Especially with Birch, that dude's a force to be reckoned with, and getting him back on the field was huge for us this week, and he's only going to continue to grow and get healthier. So I'm excited for what he's going to do for us.
New kids on the block, here to stay. Defensive mentality, trying to impose their will on opponents. They did against Michigan. 38-17 victory for Oregon, continuing to roll the Oregon Ducks moving forward throughout the course of the season. Next game, back at home against Maryland, 4 p.m. on Big Ten Network. Pregame show for the Oregon Sports Network will start at 2 o'clock. I hope to see all of you inside Autzen Stadium. Once again, tickets still available. GoDucks.com/FBTix to be inside of Autzen Stadium for the game against Maryland coming up on Saturday. We're going to get to timeout. When we return, it's a big day today. Tipping things off when we return on Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear autumn leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Take on fall in the powerful Toyota Tundra or tackle trails in a Tacoma. Head to Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear autumn leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Take on fall in the powerful Toyota Tundra or tackle trails in a Tacoma. Head to Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Ma, is this how you feed a hamster?
I think so.
Is my homework right?
I think so.
Is this milk still good?
I think so.
When it comes to parenting, sometimes it's okay to think you know. But when it's something as important as your child's car seat, don't just think. Know. Double check if your child is in the right seat for their age and size. It'll help protect them in a car crash. Don't just think. Know by visiting nhtsa.gov/the right seat. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back here inside the Country Financial Studio on Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. We talked a lot of football. Now it's time for basketball. It's here, baby. Let's go. We are about 2 hours and 20 minutes from tip-off inside Matthew Knight Arena for the start of women's basketball season. The math is a little bit more difficult if I want to extrapolate it out towards the men. 5 hours 40, maybe something like that. But it's a big day inside Matthew Knight Arena where we'll get to see both the women's and the men's team compete for the first time tonight. California Baptist, UC Riverside in town for both the women's and men's team, respectively. Also, with this crossover season, it means that there's a lot of home events going on for Oregon throughout this month. If you are a Mighty Oregon Rewards member, which is free through the GoDucks app, if you attend 10 events in the month of November, you will receive a free Oregon t-shirt. I also happen to know that for students today, there may be some Dave's chicken sandwiches. There may be. If you get there early enough and if you are one of the lucky ones to get some of those sliders. But 10 events in November to get your free t-shirt courtesy of the Mighty Oregon Rewards program. So make sure to show up to your events and fill out your punch card. Getting to learn some of the new guys on this Oregon Ducks team. A few transfers, a few experienced transfers getting a part of this men's basketball grouping that will be in action later tonight. TJ Bamba, he's been someone who's played against the Ducks back when they were a Pac-12 team when he was at Washington State. He's now transferred a few times across the country and back, getting to learn of an experienced new member of this Oregon Ducks squad, TJ Bamba.
Well, when you go from the portal, why Oregon in the end?
Oregon, mainly because of the experience that I had playing against Coach Altman. That was the number one thing for me. Being at Washington State for 3 years, so they're a fellow Pac-12 school, played them twice and a couple times in the Pac-12 tournament throughout my years there. And every single time I played against Oregon, man, I just knew what I was getting myself into. I knew the type of coach Coach Altman was, just from the way he coached his players while we were playing against them. And just the type of players that came through the program over time. And I just seen the amount of success that they've had off the court, even without basketball, the type of family environment that's created here, and the team chemistry and the brotherhood that we got and that I saw in this group of people, in this group of players. So that was the number one thing for me.
Did the move to the Big Ten play a factor, just in terms of knowing that you're going to play a certain kind of competition and television and those sorts of things that come with it, as opposed to it's not the Pac. Let's put it this way: it's not the Pac-12 or the WCC. It's playing on the stage that it is.
I mean, I played in high major conferences my whole career, so for me, it was for sure going to another high major because I feel like I'm one of the best guards in the country, so that's where I belong. So for me, it wasn't necessarily the Big Ten, but yes, it was because I knew I wanted, I'm staying in them high major groups, but it was just really like what I saw in Coach Altman's vision, for real, Big Ten, Big East, SEC, whatever it is, I feel like we could compete anywhere. So that was it for me.
You said you saw a lot of Coach Altman's mentality playing against him. What's it been like experiencing it as a part of the team over these last?
It's been lovely, man. It's been nothing but it's been an enjoyable experience for me, soaking in knowledge. The way he coaches, he gets on me. He's pushing me to limits that you want a coach to push you to. So. He's just bringing it out of me on both ends, offensively, defensively. He's just trying to help me become the best version of myself and the best player I can be. And then off the court, he's a great guy. He had a lot of talk. I'm from the Bronx, New York, so my Yankees just lost. I can't believe you wearing that hoodie. I mean, that jacket is really breaking my heart. But, you know, me and him, we had a lot of talk about the World Series and, you know, so it's been great. It's been great so far.
You mentioned some of the guys who come through in the past. Anybody who they, I don't want to say compared you to necessarily, but talked about if you could follow in this guy's kind of path of what they did in a year.
He talks a lot about Chris Duarte. He talks a lot about Dylan Brooks as well. Just taking both of their mentalities, defensively, offensively, how they just kept it super simple. Because me, I like to dribble sometimes here and there, craftiness. So he wants me to, he don't want to minimize my game. He just wants me to become more efficient. So he just you know, sits me down, tells me boom, 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 and I take it all in, I process. You know, I'm a very coachable person, so I love it. He's just trying to help me be great, and so I'm taking it all in.
You ever crossed paths with Chris back in the day? Just because, I mean, he came through Gauchos a little bit.
I mean, I crossed paths with Chris a couple times, but nothing like to the point where we had like a conversation. But yeah, I mean, my freshman year was his last year in college too, so.
Coach said everybody wants to volunteer to shoot threes. What's the identity of this team right now?
I mean, he been saying that the last 2 weeks. I be trying to tell him, like, we want to do everything, but at the end of the day, what Coach says goes. So, our identity right now, I feel like fast-paced team. We're a very, very connected group. I say that. So that's always a good thing. When you have a connected group off the court, it usually leads to good things on the court, just with the team chemistry and everybody playing for each other. Right now, I feel like, you know, we're a hard-playing group. We playing fast. We're playing for each other, and we're developing that defensive identity just day in, night out. So
there are a lot of new pieces on this group, including yourself. How are you guys able to get connected, in your opinion, in such a short time?
I feel like we're all old. We're an old group of guys. We only got one freshman. Everybody else on the team pretty much has experience, so it's easy. I mean, it's just basketball at the end of the day. And communication takes you a long way. If you learn how to communicate, talk to your teammates on the court, because we talk a lot off the court. Why can't we, you know, translate that to the court? So that's all it is for real. And then we've been making a lot of strides since day one, since we got here in the summertime to now. It's night and day. So we just want to keep improving.
Biggest improvement in your eyes from the start till now?
Definitely our intensity defensively. Doing the little things, you know. Sometimes the little things can be overlooked, so we're just trying to go back and make sure that we're paying attention to detail and doing everything right. Because, you know, sometimes games are decided by 1 point, and that 1 point may come from a missed box out, not being in the right spot defensively, not catching the ball where you want to go. So we're just trying to emphasize those things now so that we don't got to experience something heartbreaking during the season.
What are this team's biggest aspirations? Like, what do you think this group can achieve?
I mean, I feel like, you know, sky's the limit with us. We're a hard-working group. Nobody's satisfied. I feel like everybody here has a chip on their shoulder. I know I do. I got a big chip on my shoulder. I'm trying to come out, have a great year. I'm trying to win, go to the NCAA tournament. I've never been there before. So that's like my main goal right now, is just by any means necessary, go to a tournament. And, you know, I feel like we're going to surprise a lot of people just because of the mentality we have, our willingness to do the nasty things, the gritty things, and to come out and just compete. So I feel like if we do that, then sky's the limit. I don't want to put no ceiling on us because it could be anything.
Where does your chip come from? You said you have a big one. What's the
chip comes from? Just like, you know, I feel like when I left Washington State, I went to Villanova. I didn't have the greatest year because it wasn't like the greatest fit for myself. So a lot of people just forgetting like the type of player that I am. So I just can't wait to show the world for real. Like, I've been working, just been playing the right way, taking the coaching, getting better, getting my mind right. So I'm just excited, man.
What type of statement does this team want to make in game one?
Man, like, we trying to come out, and to be honest, we're not trying to prove nothing to nobody but ourselves, because we know how good we're going to be, and we are. So we just want to go out there, do everything right. And I feel like we all inner-motivated, like we self-motivated right now, because we know we could be good, but, you know, sometimes talk is just talk. You got to go out there and do it. So I feel like we're all motivated to just go out there and do it, just throw the first punch and, you know, get rid of them early. But it's a game, so we got to come in, respect our opponents, you know, got to have an appropriate level of respect for them. You know, we fear nobody, but at the end of the day, it's us versus them. So we got to go out there and do what we do.
Now that Oregon's in the Big Ten and you guys will be playing out east a little bit, do you have any family coming to games that you know of?
Yeah, for sure. Only game for real that's close to me is the Penn State game, because we play Rutgers here, anybody else for real. So that's the only one, Penn State.
When you spend 3 years in a pretty analytics-heavy system at Wazoo, that's not necessarily a term that gets associated a lot here, but it's not like they're anti-analytics here. They actually use them quite a bit. So, like, how much is similar in that way?
I mean, I feel like the way basketball is going is becoming more and more about analytics. So even if somebody may not like necessarily like, you know, just put it out there like, hey, analytics this, analytics that, you're just seeing what the type of language that we're using, like, you know, like is a step back to a good shot compared to a wide open three. Why is it saying that? Because the analytics show that it's not a good shot. So, I mean, I feel like analytics is important anywhere. I just want to take a high percentage shot, take a good shot. And ultimately, they're preaching that because it gives you the best chance to win the game. So,
it's a very guard-heavy roster. How do you differentiate yourself from the rest of the group and kind of just cement yourself in the lineup?
For sure, I feel like what I bring to the table is just different. Like my mindset, mentality, my competitiveness, my ability to guard, be a lockdown defender, and then my versatility on offense. I could play on the ball, off the ball, shoot, drive. I'm a big physical guard. So I feel like just, you know, and I'm a team player, first and foremost. So I could do anything, whatever coach wants me to do, go out there and do it. So.
TJ Bamba, new look to this Oregon basketball squad that will be in action tonight, both the men and the women. I am headed right out of here and going there, but first we got to hear more from one of the other new faces after a timeout on Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
We're back inside the Country Financial Studio on Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. We are just 2 hours-ish away from tip-off inside Matthew Arena for the women. We're not going to be able to get through nearly all of the men that spoke on Media Day last Thursday at this point on the show today. If you want to listen, you want to watch, do a little binge right before tip-off. Just go to the GoDucks YouTube channel. You can hear from all of them. But we're going to hear a little bit from one of the other new faces for this Oregon team. Brandon Angel coming in as a transfer from Stanford. What's he bringing to the table? Let's hear from the transfer.
Played pretty well. I mean, when you've been in Eugene recently, especially with Stanford, like, what about this place is special, and what about it drew you here?
I mean, one of the main things I was looking for when I went in the portal was I need to be somewhere where I'm going to win. I've done enough losing for the last 4 years, and that was coming in the portal. That was priority number one from everyone I talked to. If I didn't feel that the program had a winning culture, then I didn't want any part of it. And given Coach Altman's track record here, he's never had less than a 20-win year. I've played against him. Every time we've played him, it's felt like we've just been down. And it was something I wanted to be a part of. He came up with a good plan and how I can develop and how I fit. And at the end of the day, I thought this was the best fit for me.
So what about this team gives you the sense that it's ready to win, or it will win this year?
I think we have a good combination of experience, and the young guys are coming along really well. The young guys have a year of experience under their belt. We only have one freshman, and then the piece we brought in turned this into a pretty tough veteran-led team. And Coach Altman's been known to put the pieces together. We always used to say at Stanford, hopefully we play Oregon early in the year before they come together. But given the group and the experience we have, I think we can accelerate that and gel and have some cohesion earlier on in the year. So,
what's it like playing alongside Nate, and how do you see his improvement from when you've played up against him previously?
Yeah, I mean, one thing is Nate's a great passer, willing passer, finds his teammates, finds me on cuts, and so he's been great to play with. He's definitely got stronger since the first time I played him, and even I think as this preseason progressed, he's got stronger, got more comfortable in the paint, and he's shooting the ball really well. So Nate's a really fun player to play with.
Has playing for a Dana Altman coach team lived up to the expectation? You talk about playing against Dana a couple of times, but what has it kind of been like now being a part of his program?
Yeah, playing for Coach Altman, there's a pretty clear standard of what he expects on the offensive end of the court and defense and how you approach the game. And he didn't sugarcoat anything when he recruited. He's lived up to everything that he's told me. And yeah, genuine head coach, someone who's pretty easy to play for. There's no mixed messages. So yeah, love being here, love playing for him.
That is Brandon Angel talking to the media about why he came to Oregon from Stanford. Didn't get to the whole conversation with Brandon Angel today on the show. My plan for the next 2 hours, well, I have to go over to the arena. I already watched them, but if you haven't watched them, go through, watch Media Day. Women's basketball players sat down over the course of the last few weeks. Men's basketball players, there's a whole bunch of them, almost everybody on the entire roster, available on the Go Ducks YouTube channel where you can check it out, hear the stories of all these players before the games tonight at MKA. The women are going to start things off against California Baptist at 4 p.m. on Big Ten Plus, and then the men will face off against a UC Riverside team that you might have some memories against. Oregon trying to make sure they're positive ones this time around. 7:30 on Big Ten Plus at Matthew Knight Arena, where both of these teams will face off for the first time in the 2024-2025 year. I could not be more excited to get back across the river and get over to MKA. Tomorrow on the show, Matt Ulmer will join after he got to sweep his squad over UCLA over the weekend in a huge matchup coming up on Thursday. Joey will have that conversation for you. Also, Athletic Director Tuesday, and breaking down whatever we see at the arena tonight. It's going to be fun. Go Ducks.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you